Hey everybody, Christie from Happy and Healthy TV with you guys tonight. Filming a video for busy moms, like what to do when you have like no time to cook. I haven't done one of these videos in forever, and I figured it'd be a really cool time to do a refresher on that. Um, while I'm doing that, you'll see why I have no time to cook anymore. Look at this little cutie patootie. While she's being good, we'll sit here and have her hang with us. She is going to complain at me that she's hungry in the next like 5 minutes. So I think I've got like 5 minutes tops before she gets annoyed. She's like, why can't I see myself on the phone? Who's that? So I got Carly, my sidekick, with me, my little cutie pie. She is 3 months old and still the size of a newborn, my little cutie. Um, she was born a month early with a whole bunch of things going on. So as you can guess, mom has been had her hands like super full. Anyway, so here's my number one tip for my busy mamas. I find that one of the best things that you can do when you are running around a lot like I have been is to make sure you stay hydrated. This is going to sound like an odd suggestion, but it works really well for a lot of my patients, and it works well for my breastfeeding mommies. That's usually my MO. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to breastfeed because of my epilepsy meds, but that being said, um, I leave glasses of water like all over my apartment. That's gonna sound kind of strange and bizarre, but if I'm in the middle of feeding her and I get thirsty, I can't get up in the middle of that, or I don't want to upset her and do that and kind of, break her groove that she's got going on. Especially since she's got trouble swallowing, so it's like once she is stuck on a bottle, I don't want to get her off of it. So, yeah, I leave a lot of water throughout my house, and that's also a good way to make sure you got enough water in per day. There literally will be 8 glasses of water filled up throughout my house. So, that I find to be extremely helpful. And if I forget, if I kept track of my water intake for the day, again, if those 8 glasses are empty, I know I had about 64 ounces of water roughly. I always recommend to patients to drink half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So I want to say roughly, I probably weigh about 125 now. So I'm kind of back down to my pre-pregnancy weight without muscle mass, which is not cool. Got to work on that. Um, but so that roughly puts me, if you're doing 120, so about 60 ounces a day should be good enough for me. Keeping in mind, again, I'm not breastfeeding. If you are breastfeeding, you definitely need more water consumption with that. I would add an additional 20 ounces of water plus that. So what my number would be is 60 ounces roughly, give or take. I would pop that up to 80 instead. So that's tip one. So stay hydrated, stay hydrated, stay hydrated. It's really important. Smoothie drinks. You guys know I'm a big fan of those. With my having Crohn's disease and other strange issues that I have. Carly is agreeing with this. I craved kale smoothies like the whole time I was pregnant. Not anything weird for me. I mean, that's in my diet all the time anyway. But I do drink a lot of smoothies now just because of time constraints. There are times where I don't buy them on my own. I will just purchase them in the store just because I don't have time. Um, Protein drinks are great too. And then really simple stuff that would actually surprise you that's like super duper easy. So, my crock pot has made like a total revival. I have a big regular size crock pot and something called a lunch crock. And lunch crock pot is really, really cool because it's a tiny itty bitty little crock pot, like this little lady here. And you can bring it with you. I used to bring it back and forth with me to my office and just heat up food. She's like, this isn't a bottle. Sorry, guys. So the rest of my videos, I might be a little occupied. Fortunately, I'm good at multitasking. Anyway, back to the crock pot. So I have a mini crock pot that's like, not even kidding you. Let me see if I can put her right here for a second. So this way she's not unhappy. Are you happy? Okay, good girl. So you can put it about that high or so. Whoops. She's like, nope, I'm going to leave and go flying over here. Yeah, you cannot fly. Oop, not a good idea. There we go. Okay. And now I'm happy again. Thank you, Mommy. Okay, so, what the heck was I saying? Okay, yeah, crockpot. So I have the small one, I have a large one. I have done everything that you could possibly think of in a crockpot. Like this, like seriously, like props on my end with this. My son and I have gotten really creative and have actually turned it into like a really funny thing. So he's almost 12 now. So he like absolutely adores Gordon Ramsay and loves watching anything having to do with him. And talks about being a food critic all the time. You could tell he kind of grew up with a nutritionist mom. I'm very proud of him for that. But so we have these great conversations about how can we make really awesome dinners in the crock pot. So he had asked me the other day for fajitas. Honestly, it's not something I would normally make in the crock pot, but I threw some chicken in there, some peppers and onions. That's one other tip I can add in while I'm within this tip, is to take help from the store when you need it. I'm the type of girl that I'm more than happy to chop up all my own vegetables and do all that great stuff, but I don't have time right now. I'm really fortunate that my local grocery store carries a really great line of organic stuff that was already pre-cut. So I've gotten butternut squash noodles, you know, uh, like basically stuff for fajitas already chopped up. Like it has the onions and the bell peppers pre-chopped already done. So I literally just opened up a package of organic chicken, opened up an organic seasoning packet along with the peppers and onions, and threw that in the crock pot. It came out beautiful. And then I had gluten-free wraps, and I already had guacamole that was made fresh in the store, so I had brought that home. And even if you did have to do something like cutting up an avocado, which I would normally put on something like that, fine. Um, we always buy fresh salsa. That's always in my house anyway, since everybody enjoys eating that. So that's a big thing. It's certainly grating cheese on top of there. I don't like to buy pre-shredded grated cheese because they put cellulose powder all over it. For those of you who don't know, cellulose is wood pulp. Uh, yeah, if I really wanted to eat wood, I'd go outside and go gnaw on a tree in my backyard. I'm not a beaver, so that does not make any sense to do that. So anyway, that came out great. I even made breakfast in the crock pot. We did for Thanksgiving and a bunch of people over. So I wound up doing this was really like pretty cool on my part. Made this up. I was just kind of thinking of what I could do. I had organic chicken and garlic with something else mixed in it, sausages that I had made up that were phenomenal. So I took that, chopped that up into like just I don't know pieces about I don't want to say a little bit more than a quarter of an inch large, and then I put those through. Took some. Are you interested in recipes? She's just sitting here watching me. Oh, I'm surprised she's being quiet, actually. What else did I put? Purple potatoes. I had little purple potatoes, the itty bitty baby guys. And I put those in, of course, organic, with some scallions, a little bit of cheddar cheese, a whole bunch of eggs. Like, we love eggs in our house. So we did a lot of that. Put the eggs through along with broccoli. I had fresh broccoli that I just wound up cutting up. I think that was the only thing I cut up besides the potatoes. She actually was being well behaved and sitting in her boppy pillow and watches mommy cook. So, which is good because when you get older, you're going to help, right? Yeah, like your brother does. So, let that sit. Let me tell you, my kitchen smelled amazing. Like you could smell it from downstairs. Serve that on the side with like a little fruit salad. I put a little bit of extra cheese on it with some scallions to garnish it. It looked pretty, it was delicious, and it just had some really good flavor in it. So I really recommend that. So I basically took all the dry ingredients with the exception of the cheese, and then put those in the crock pot, just like no order specific in specific order there, and then went ahead and dumped the eggs. We took eggs that I had beaten, and then put the cheese within the egg. So this way it kind of went all throughout. I did throw a little tiny bit of soy milk in there. If I usually don't eat dairy, so if I do have dairy, I try to lessen the amount that I have, so I didn't even want to put the extra milk in it. If I do use milk, I use like a raw, unpasteurized, like grass-fed, like really good quality milk that's like super expensive, but I don't care when it comes to spending money on food. So that is one thing I always tell people I have no problem splurging on. So that came out fantastic. I've done other simple things like just again taking help from the store, a salad with just some grape tomatoes in it, with pre-made organic salad dressing, and then on the side with that I made homemade meatballs and sauce in the crock pot, and then I basically just boiled water for quinoa pasta, all of which these things are all like 10 minutes or less that it required me to spend time in the kitchen. I do chop stuff up really quickly, so if I am chopping my own stuff, I'm pretty fast, which is helpful. For those who are slower, we might want to, like I said, take the extra help from the store, which I've been doing anyway, because I just, like I said, don't have the time. What else did we do? Sort of thinking this past week, tacos. We made tacos in there, chili. I made homemade vegetable soup in there the other day. I made like a minestrone that came out like phenomenally. So that was really nice. We had that with some steamed cauliflower and some baked fish on the side. So again, simple stuff. So the crock pot, totally your best friend if you've got a little one floating around. Next tip for you guys is I've taken advantage of food delivery like in a big way. I love going food shopping. It's like one of my favorite things, or going regular shopping. Target runs and things like that. I enjoy looking around at stuff in the store. However, um, this little one has not been allowed out anywhere due to her preemie status with some other concerns that she's got. So I have been stuck at home and like losing my mind and wanting to tear my hair out. Um, what little I have left, because thank you, after you were born, my hair started falling out, which is fine. Thank God I have a really good hairdresser. And you guys know I never wear my hair down anyway, so you can't even tell. Anyway, uh, I digress. I am running on very little sleep, guys, so you guys will have to laugh at me for this kind of all over the place video. It's like a lot of ADD moments going on here. So Target now delivers. I thought that was like the neatest thing. Of course, keeping in my tradition that I do with that I did with my son. Um, Everything's organic. I mean, like her diapers are organic. I use seventh generation or Honest Kids, or there's another company called Brandless that's fantastic, that has diapers for like really cheap, which is wonderful of them. And they are chlorine free. So, I do not want chlorine anywhere nearby either one of my children's private parts. So I don't think that's good to use, especially for a girl. That's just my thought process, based on I've done doing research and so forth, things like that. So, yeah, Target now delivers through a service called Scripps. Scripps is really great. If you sign up with them, I think it's like $99. What are you doing over here? $99 for the year, and they'll deliver unlimited to you for the whole entire year. So when I tell you they are phenomenal, I got diapers delivered to my house, I think within 2 hours. Like the little person was at the door. And it's kind of like DoorDash, which I thought was great. So I had a whole bunch of stuff delivered. Cat food came to the house. I had organic cleaning stuff delivered, toilet paper, just like all my stuff that I buy in bulk that I normally don't buy in the regular grocery store. Carly's showing you her outfit. It's not as cute with the bib on top of it, although your bib does match your outfit because mommy like totally has OCD. Anyway, so Target's great. They deliver now. And you can get grocery delivery from Target too, which is lovely. I know most grocery stores do offer that now, which is nice. My local grocery store does offer it, which is great. My problem with that, though, is honestly, like and again, all regions throughout the country are different. So depending on where you're tuning in from, you may have a different experience. Here in New York, anyway, our local grocery store, the one I like to go to, that is not Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, when I'm, not out that way. Those two stores, unfortunately, are like a little less than an hour away from my house with traffic. So yeah, my local grocery store does charge for delivery, but they don't always offer a lot of organic stuff on their website, which is very strange. Or I at times will have trouble finding gluten-free items. So what I have been doing when I'm able to is, I'll just basically run to the store and get the stuff I know I cannot get delivered and run in, run out. Or another cool thing is most places will deliver food out to your vehicle now, which I thought was great. So being that I have not been able to take her inside of any place, um, which is, like I said, driving me a little nuts on that. But safety first and health first there. So what we went ahead and did was I just literally it was great. God came out to my vehicle and just dropped all of these groceries that I had ordered online in my car. Um, if you don't have access to the internet, which I don't know how you'd be viewing this video, but if you have trouble using the internet, or maybe you're doing this for an elderly family member, it's not, or maybe you want to do this as a gift for a new mom. I highly recommend this, especially if you're a single mother like I am. I'm really good with cooking stuff quickly. Obviously, I was trained to do that. It's my job. But at the same time, it's nice to be able to gift that to somebody. So I think for any mom, if you've not, she came a month early as a surprise. Had she not, I would have had casseroles in the oven like crazy. That's another thing. Casseroles totally become my best friend. We've made up all different cool casserole ideas. I came up with a really great chicken tetrazzini casserole a few weeks back that I did that was gluten-free that came out really, really good. So that was nice. We ate that for a couple of days. And Rachel Ray actually has this on her website. I recommend checking this out. She's got meals that you can cook in less than 15 minutes, in addition to you cook once and eat twice. I love this. It's not the same dish. She just adds additional stuff to the dish from the day before. So you kind of do prep work the day before, cook the meal, and whatever it happens to be. and then it turns into something else the next day, which I thought was super cool. So that was a neat way to be able to do that. Other stuff you can take help from the store with. I wound up, or just simple foods, so we can do a little bit of both. Maybe picking up an organic rotisserie chicken. It's already cooked. You have that for dinner one night, depending on how large your family is. For me, it's just myself, my son, my daughter, and our cat, who now only eats table food, which is completely fine. So, if we do a chicken, I always have enough left over to make broth out of, or at least make like a chicken soup or make chicken salad out of it, or something. I always come up with something. So I've gotten creative with that. I've been eating way too much chicken lately, so that might not be a good thing. Variety is good, right? So that's a really great tip. We love eggs in our house. My son and I are both like Rocky. It's funny because he's in the background. Uh, I totally am down to do the raw egg thing. I have no trouble doing that. I know some people that would have trouble doing that. Yeah, it's not me. Anyway, and it's good for my son. So we've done a lot of hard-boiled eggs. So if I don't have time to eat, like she's in the middle of eating right now, um, literally just go ahead and just shove like a hard-boiled egg in my mouth. At least I ate something. Or we've done deviled eggs. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff with eggs over the past few weeks. Tuna salad. I've done a lot of that as well because it's simple. I actually bought this the other day. They had pre-cut organic celery in the store. I thought this was fabulous. Again, it takes me 2 minutes to cut up celery, but if I didn't have to do the work in this particular case, I have no problem spending the extra, like, what, dollar that it cost me to get this. It was convenient. Onions, if you cry a lot, like I do when I chop up onions, I thought organic chopped onions were like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I'm like, this is fabulous. I'm glad to have this. So just dump stuff into a bowl and stuck it in the refrigerator and called it a day. So that was nice. And we made different things out of that. Quesadillas were good that we made a couple of nights ago that were vegetarian, so those were interesting. Other things you might not think of. I have trail mix actually right next to my computer. Probably not the best place to put it, but this is where I am right now in my bed. So we've been doing a lot of trail mixes and things like that, dried fruits, just to keep up with having energy, especially when this little one likes to wake up every 20 minutes. Let's see what else. Baby carrots. Love baby carrots. They're fantastic. So I'll just snack on those maybe with some hummus or something like that, or I'll just eat the carrots by themselves. Grapes. Anything that's just simple that you really don't have to do much with. Fruit platters, veggie platters. Again, not my normal thing. I would normally make these myself. I don't have time right now. So there are, if you look at my refrigerator right now, I have both of those. I found that's been a godsend. Also, Amy's frozen organic meals. Phenomenal. My freezer is totally full of those right now as well, and will remain full of those. They've got really great gluten-free stuff, dairy-free stuff, and actually, if you go onto their website, it will give you a list and tell you if you have a food allergy or a food intolerance, which products are free of whatever you're looking to avoid. And if you're looking to avoid multiple things, like some of my patients who have, like, let's just say, I don't know, egg, dairy, and gluten sensitivity, um, you would be able to get that information on their site, which is fabulous. So I love that about them. They're a very responsible company, and I appreciate that with them. So that's a really great thing that you can do too. Another thing, if you have older children at home, like I'm fortunate, my son is almost 12, so I realize that this is not a typical age gap between most children. Um, but he is extraordinarily helpful, so I do ask him for help, and you know what? It's good. It's teaching him responsibility. It is also teaching him, hey, when you get older and you go to college, unless you want to starve or eat really bad food, which is not acceptable, or you need to learn how to cook. So he's been great, and will help me out. I make him help me twice a week. That's part of his chores, so he helps out with that. Lunches and things like of that nature. I have been doing a lot of sushi lately. I've been doing a vegetarian sushi only because I got used to it while I was pregnant with this little one here. But I think that is a really, really good idea to incorporate because it's like really simple to eat. I could be feeding her and just quickly kind of like throw that in my mouth and not have to think, which is nice. And my local grocery store, I'm fortunate enough, actually makes this has like a sushi bar, so that's really cool. They also have a hot foods bar. I know Whole Foods has that. Totally have taken advantage of that. I haven't had time to cook like a really nice piece of like salmon recently, and I was craving it really bad the other day, so totally hit that up. So that was a really easy, simple thing. Plus, my son likes to do that too. And I found it to be fairly inexpensive. My son and I had really full plates, and I think I spent like $13. So, excuse me, as opposed to going out to dinner. Another tip for you guys, DoorDash totally become my BFF. Um, I am not a big fan. If I'm gonna go out, I want to go out to like a really good restaurant. I want to go out to like a 4 or 5 star place. But again, not feasible with infant baby, um, who cannot travel right now, and with 12-year-old in tow. So that's been out, and probably will be out of the question for a little while. She's not happy. She's like, no, 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 get me off of here. I'm not happy. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Is that in your face? What's the matter? Say, I was sleeping. I didn't burp. Okay, there you go. There you go. I'm sorry, guys. We can't get mad at her. She's a baby. She's supposed to do these things. Anyway, all right. She's like, put me down. I don't like this. Come here, sweetie. Ready? There you go. Okay. Better? Oh, no, we'll go back over here. I say she'll start crying in the middle of the video if I put her down. Somebody only likes to be happy when she's on mommy, which is fine. So DoorDash has been good, although I do want to tell you guys to please be aware of DoorDash. I probably shouldn't be recommending it since it's happened, and I can't prove this is where it came from. I had ID theft like 2 weeks ago. Fortunately, my bank rocks, and they caught it like right away. But some bonehead, and I thought this was funny. My son and I actually we just laughed at this. I mean, hopefully somebody that needed food got food. Somebody ordered like $500 worth of Domino's in Manhattan, which I live, right outside of, and $300 worth of Shake Shack off of my bank account. And the only thing I had downloaded recently in my computer that was different, or my phone, was DoorDash. So funny enough, my father later that day sees a I don't know, special in like 2020 or something, saying like, people are stealing people's identities from DoorDash. So maybe like one of the other services, or hopefully they fix that issue. But my son and I had both joked around. We live in the land of bagels and pizza, and somebody was in Manhattan and ordered Domino's. Like, why would you order $500 worth of Domino's? The best pizza ever is in Manhattan, so, or Brooklyn, or any of those areas. Um, Bronx, Arthur Avenue. I mean, come on now. Like, you could have ordered from so many really great places. If you're a New Yorker, you understand what I'm talking about. If not, why? I just don't understand. If once you've kind of went to New York pizza, you're not going to go back. Yeah, so that person ordered like $500 worth of Domino's. It was very funny. My son said the same thing I did. Mom, well, why would you order $500 worth of Domino's if you were in the city? I joke around. My son's half a city boy since his father lives, or partially part-time lives in Queens, which is a borough of one of the 5 boroughs. I'm sorry, guys, I can't think. Anyhow, yeah, so he spends half of his time there and half of his time here. So I mean, even that my almost 12-year-old knows better than this, so I have to laugh at it. So that was a really great tip, was utilizing things like DoorDash. I know, again, there are other services besides DoorDash. Right now, I don't know. Like Uber Eats is one of them. You could certainly use that. I know Uber hasn't had any issues with compromisation of their customers' information as of at least right now. And again, I cannot prove that identity theft thing came from DoorDash, but I'm guessing since the person ordered, the food, that's probably where it came from. And after I saw that, my bank never did find out where it came from, so we don't really know. So that was one thing. Just put her down. Okay. And we have a happy baby. Okay. All right. So that was one tip there. Well, sorry, guys, my like wardrobe adjustment here. My pants are like so falling down. Let's see. Thinking. So crock-pot was a good one. Smoothie drinks, making sure you stay hydrated. Oh, duh. I recommend, as a nutritionist, I still take prenatals. Granted, I am very fortunate that one of the companies that I order my vitamins from is fantastic, because they, I get stuff at really good pricing. But in addition to that, I always order in bulk. So I had tons of prenatal vitamins left over. Certainly, if you don't already know this, certainly taking a prenatal vitamin, even if you're not pregnant, is completely fine. Basically, all you're getting is extra B complex vitamins, in particular folic acid. Obviously, we need that for baby's brain development. Maybe you have a DHA or an ARA formula type of thing. going on. So I'm still taking that and fish oil and probiotics. So I still continue to do that. Another product that has saved my ass, like, again, forgive my language on this, but it's like I have to use strong language because it's like a strong product. I have to laugh at it. Is wow. I've gotten like 2 hours of sleep this week, guys, and yes, we're coming off Thanksgiving, so please forgive me. It was very busy yesterday. Um, I'm just gonna keep laughing at myself. I just like really don't remember what I was talking about. Vitamins. Yeah, I said vitamins. Fish oil, probiotics. Yeah, still taking those things. So yeah, ordering those in bulk I found was very, very helpful. I was trying to make a point there. I was talking about folic acid. Oh, that's where I was going with this. My favorite thing to take, period, for energy boosting is not Red Bull, 5 hour energy drinks. Of course, as a nutritionist, I would tell you to please throw those all in the garbage. They are not good for you at all. The amount of sugar in there, I think, is enough sugar to consume for an entire week, so it is not recommended in any way, shape, or form. But what I do recommend instead is a product from Garden of Life called Clear Energy. I have no affiliation with Garden of Life. I just happen to like their products. Um, Not so excited about them since they were bought out by Nestle, so that was sad. I know the founder of the company and co-authored a book with him, my third one. And he's great, and I know his integrity was there, and he was very, very respectful and mindful of what went into his products. And I was really just, that was a big draw for me to Garden of Life way back when. This is going back in my early 20s. So it was quite a while ago. Unfortunately, they were bought out by Nestle, and I have noticed some of the products, the quality has changed, and I'm not surprised at that. However, their Clear Energy product, which is basically like ginseng with complex vitamins, excuse me, mixed with that, is absolutely fantastic if you're running on like very little sleep like I have been. So that's been a really good save, at least on my end. Excuse me, guys. Definitely don't do this. I always say this to patients. Please do not load up on refined sugar. I know we're in the holiday season and people are eating tons of this crap right now. But the reality is, we know that sugar is a refined carb, and we know that that's going to take the body a lot shorter of a period of time to digest, which in turn, all right, so maybe eat a candy bar and you've got energy for 10 minutes, and then you're going to crash, and it's going to be worse than if you were to have maybe eaten a handful of dates, which have tons of minerals in them and even have a little bit of protein in them. I would definitely go for the dates versus something like that. So you want to choose your foods wisely, especially at a time like this. I can't stress this enough. If you're breastfeeding, you should definitely be doing that. um, I find that to be extraordinarily, extraordinarily important, especially, again, if you're breastfeeding. There's a common notion that when you're breastfeeding too, for my breastfeeding mommies, that you have to eat more. Yes, calorically you do. You need to consume about an extra 500 calories a day, between 3 to 500, depending on your body weight, pre-pregnancy. However, everybody's body is different, so I recommend anywhere. I try to go shoot through the middle to the 400. But you want to be eating really high quality foods. I've been mostly doing the whole keto thing. I eat like a paleo-ish, as they call it, diet, as it is anyway. I really don't have grains in my diet, so whole grains rather. I just stick to, good fats and protein and vegetables and, just fruit here and there, not tons of it, um, which has been nice. So, yeah, so if you guys need any more tips on things like this, if you have anybody that you're fortunate enough who can help you out with these things, like the cooking and the shopping and all of that, awesome. If you're like me and you're doing everything on your own, then there are absolutely ways to do it. Just have to get a little creative. And I guess the final thing I'll leave you guys with is don't be a hero. If you need help, ask for it. It's a sign of strength, asking for help, and not a weakness. So I'm always one to say, I need a hand. And I'm very fortunate that I do have that type of support network in my life. So, guys, this is the reason I have not filmed a video in quite so long. Again, I've been very, very, very much busy and just trying to get used to having an infant in the house after having kind of graduated from that stage. So it's been pretty cool. Um, Kind of again off the food topic. You can totally laugh at me Toys have like changed a lot since my son was born. I'm like sitting here trying to figure out technology with some of this stuff, and it's been really funny. Um, I have to joke around about this. My daughter has a set of toys, and they all interact with each other, and they're like super cute. They sing all these songs, which I'm now like at the point where I don't want to hear them anymore, and would like to throw one of these things out of a window. But it's again, it's funny. It's a hedgehog, a sloth, a llama, an otter, and a moose. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, these guys are all cute. They all talk to each other. They do the ABCs and one, two, threes and all that great stuff. But when would you see an otter, a hedgehog, a sloth, of all things? Like, my daughter would be like, oh, the first toy my mother bought me was a sloth. Like, what the hell kind of thing is that? But when would you see these animals hanging out in the wild? Um, Ever. Like, they don't hang out with each other. So, shame on Fisher Price for teaching children that, I guess, that these animals cohabitate or cohabitat. Wow, I can't think. Yeah, at all. So, I was just happened to come across this thought while these things were on before, and I'm just like, these animals don't even hang out with each other. Why did they group them together? Like, you could put barnyard animals. I don't know. Llamas don't hang out with sloths. I just find it to be strange. Anyway, so, um, but that's my nutrition advice for today, guys. I hope everybody is doing really, really well. If you have any questions, drop a comment in the box below. If you have a comment, drop a comment in the box below, or hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel. Um, I have been doing a lot of flute practice lately because, believe it or not, the flute has been one of the only instruments ever proven to be good for premature infants' brains, which I think is fantastic. So, fortunately, I played most of the time I was pregnant, and I've been playing for her just about every day since she has come home from the hospital. So that's now 2 months. I've not had time to film anything yet, but I've been working on some really cool stuff. So that'll come up at some point. I definitely want to get back to doing my Lyme videos. I am wearing a Lyme disease awareness shirt for today, just uh, for giggles on that one, or because maybe it was the only thing I had left that was still clean. I was doing laundry right now. Let's see. So that will be coming out, and there's been a lot of controversy. I'm gonna end with this. And I've been one of 26,000 parents in the state who's been really upset over some changes that have happened with healthcare law here in New York State and also in California and a couple of other states in the country. I won't mention that, only for privacy reasons for both of my children, in addition to, hmm, let's not go there. Let's just leave it at that. This is a public forum, and I don't like to talk about anything extraordinarily controversial, and this is a very controversial topic. So, yeah, I've been very busy, just so kind of everybody's aware, doing a lot of research for Children's Health Defense Fund, and which is Robert Kennedy Jr.'s organization, um, for this particular topic. Um, if you guys look him up and look up Children's Health Defense, they've got some really great information. Again, I am volunteering for them. I'm certainly not doing anything to promote them, but I think that if you are a mom, you definitely want to check out the information they have, because they've got a lot of great scientific and independently done scientific studies on uh, certain things that are being passed down the pipeline right now, at least here in New York, and I know has already been passed in California. If you are in the healthcare field, you probably know what I'm talking about. And if you're not in the healthcare field, you'll probably be hearing about this at some point in time soon if you're not in New York State or California or have not been directly affected by this. Maybe you don't have children, you're watching for someone else. So, yeah, I've been very busy handling things on that end, and just trying to do whatever I can to help customize things for people in a different set of circumstances. What else has been going on? I've been very busy with still working with the Lyme community. When she is passed out like she is right now, I'm typing away, and working with continuing to support people, and making sure that my foot is still in the door in that particular world. I do want to make a special shout out to Greg Kirk of the Ticked Off Foundation, who was so kind to help me out this past week. Now that I am no longer pregnant, I'm back on all of my good old Lyme supplements, so that's a good thing. Um, I noticed this is a interesting topic to segue into as well, and we can do a video on this. But Lyme going out of into remission while you're pregnant and coming out of remission when you're no longer pregnant. Um, I dealt with this with my Crohn's disease when I was pregnant with my son, although it had been in remission prior to. And then after, so I really had no trouble with it. This was like a totally different Oprah show as far as things go. Um, yeah, tough thing, but I'm really good at dealing with challenging situations. So, um, I would say God must have a lot of faith in me because he throws a lot of stuff at me sometimes. And this year has been no exception to that. Stress management is something we're going to be doing an upcoming video on because a lot of people are asking me that, especially since we're in the holiday season. If I was in my office talking to patients, I'd be hearing about people stress eating throughout the holidays. They don't want to be around their family. Uncle Joe is a mess, or, fill in the blankety blank annoying family member. Those types of things can be stressful for people. So I find people emotionally eat throughout the holidays, and that's why we'll see everybody. That's January 1st of the year is always my busiest day of practice, or January 2nd, which is funny enough, my mother's birthday. When I go back to work that day, that's when things hit the fan. Um, totally. And it's funny because everybody just wants to get back in shape for the new year. I'm the girl that wants to be in shape the whole year, not just for the beginning of the year. But yeah, certainly that's where I come in to help people out. Um, in case anybody else is wondering, I'm getting a lot of calls for patients lately. Just to make sure everyone is aware, I am not seeing patients right now. Due to the fact that one, I'm out on disability. I don't know if half of you guys know that. I don't disclose that to people. And two, I have my dear friend and colleague Renee Barbas, who has been taking care of my patients while in my absence at this time. So I will not be back there anytime soon. I am still working on my next two books. Those have been rolled out for like the 15th time. Like this, my God bless my editor. She is amazing for her patience on this. Have gone ahead and postponed my contracts on both of those. Obviously because again she came early, thought I would have had things done faster. But sometimes especially in the writing world, things don't happen like that. So that kind of took care of itself. So sometime hopefully in the middle of 2020, I'll be able to get back onto those two things, which would be lovely. We'll see how that works itself out, though. By that time, she will be running around, so I'm not sure exactly, or crawling around or doing something. Or maybe she's like the sloth she plays with, and she'll be hanging upside down from a tree, for all I know. Well, yeah, I haven't slept. We just laugh at the things I'm saying that are ridiculous right now. I would not let my daughter hang upside down from a tree. Although, that didn't turn out too bad, and I did that a lot when I was a kid. I was a big tomboy. And kids actually played outside back then, so it was like a different generation completely. Now I just feel old. Okay, I'm going to stop this video now, which was supposed to be about food, and then somehow I was talking about sloths and children hanging upside down in trees. I can't right now with myself. Um, I've got a couple of my friends here in the background who are helping me watch Carly, and they were like hysterical laughing without trying to be on camera, so like kind of politely telling them themselves. Yeah, this video is going to have to be edited. All right, everybody. I hope everyone had a very, very happy Thanksgiving. I hope nobody got trampled or had any violent thing happen to them on Black Friday, running into the stores trying to get crazy deals. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this year's holiday season. Keep on top of our page for more good holiday tips, holiday recipes, things like that. I'll be putting up some of those things, um, and perhaps even a cooking video. I know Jaden and I also we're going to do a food review at some point in time this weekend, so that'll be coming up as well. All right, guys, everybody have a great night or day, and you